Next item is appropriate regarding public comments made by individual board members outside the board meeting.
I have with respect to this, I'm going to move a resolution, but I need to read the resolution so that, in fairness to all, so that they can hear the resolution, I need to do that first. Whereas the Board of Education is aware of statements made by Stephanie Updike, and whereas the Board of Education finds it desirable to take affirmative action to disavow any statements, representations, actions, or conduct alleged to have been made by Ms. Updike or any other employee of this school district or board unless made with the formal approval of this board or with its direction and authority. Be it therefore resolved that the Board of Education does not approve of, condone, affirm, or ratify any statements, actions, or conduct alleged to have been made by Ms. Updike or any other employee of this school district or board unless made with formal approval of the Board of Education. Be it further resolved that the Board of Education does not authorize any individual member of the board in absence of formal approval of the Board of Education at regular, special, or emergency meetings or in absence of the board's direction and approval to make statements or representations on its behalf or take actions or participate in conduct on its behalf, and any such statement, representation, action, or conduct of board members is not and does not represent the official position of the Board of Education. Be it further resolved that the intent of this resolution is only to disavow statements, representations, actions, and/or conduct of school district employees and individual board members in absence of direction, authority, or formal approval of the Board of Education. This resolution is not intended to give credence to any complaint or allegation made. If this is adopted, it would certainly be adopted this day, 29th day of June 2009.
I'd like to make a statement in addition to that. In April 2008 and on August 4, 2008 executive session, Stephanie Updike failed to respect the confidentiality of information that was privileged. The Code of Ethics and Conduct adopted on January 29, 2009 signifies a strong commitment by board members to base their decisions and actions on ethical standards. It defined for us the professional behavior required to fulfill our obligations of being effective and responsible board members. Recently, she chose to violate the Code of Ethics and Conduct. When decisions and actions are not based on ethical standards and conduct, it has a negative impact on our district. Our first and greatest concern as board members must be the educational welfare of all students attending Broken Arrow Public Schools. We have much to celebrate with recent expansion of the Great Expectations, Junior Achievement, the new opportunity for fifth graders across our district to participate in Junior Achievement BizTown, and much more. With the superintendent search process underway and the bond initiative discussions getting ready to take place, many exciting decisions lay ahead. It is important that the board remain focused and move forward to work with the superintendent and staff to ensure that our children reach their full potential.
I move the resolution.
Second.
I think I should have an opportunity to make a couple of comments. There have been many instances in the last 12 months or so of board members speaking. I recall in August that two board members attended a meeting instead of the board meeting and held a press conference. There was no resolution condemning that action. Another board member had a press conference. You guys didn't find it necessary to condemn that action. Another board member made some comments at a foundation meeting that were caused a little bit of a ruckus. There was no condemnation of that action. When I spoke with Mr. Lewis at the Ledger, if you have watched your email. We have received a lot of questions and emails from people asking about why we're cutting positions and lobbying on behalf of keeping teachers. And it occurred to me that, you know, a lot of times in education we talk about expenditures in terms of teaching positions, and that's a really good way to do it. It's valid, it's tangible, it's kind of like, you know, that's one teaching position, and it's something to remind us always. The things that I said were public record. I did not break any confidentiality. Dr. Gerber's contract is public record. What we spent on legal bills is public record. I find it interesting that comments have been made for the last year, and they were never condemned by this board. And, you know, I realize that we can have different opinions and that we differ, and, you know, in some ways that makes us a much stronger board. I've exercised my right to present some facts and express my opinion. I recognize that others might disagree. I felt like it was information that was salient for the discussion of what's going on in our district. I do not know what Mrs. Wilkins is referring to as far as violating executive session. I'm not aware that I have done that. I have tried for months to have a discussion about some of the expenditures. In fact, in October, November, December, I put items on the agenda to discuss issues having to do with expenditures. Those items were tabled or removed from the agenda. And so I was not speaking per se. Of course, we always are a board member when we're speaking in public because people know that that's where we are. As a private citizen, I have a right to talk. You certainly have a right to vote the way that your conscience leads you.
In support of Ms. Updike, just because we become board members, we do not give up freedom of speech. We are entitled to that. You cannot censure that. Being on both sides of this issue, when I was president, two law firms told me there's nothing you can do to a board member. They can say what they want to say. They are citizens. They have freedom, First Amendment right. You cannot censure that. You cannot get rid of a board member. Nothing. This is two different law firms saying that there's nothing, because believe me, at that time I was a little hot. I wanted to see what there could be done, something could be done. Nothing. So in all fairness, that board member had the right to express at whatever level they want to express. I think it's really, really not a very good idea to start trying to impose some type of censure. Because if we're going to pay for some more legal bills, then we're going to have board versus board. First Amendment right, protected. We cannot take that away. They don't take it away from representatives. They don't take it away from senators. I mean, they can say anything they want because they are citizens. I took 2 oaths when I joined this board. Neither one of them stripped me of my First Amendment right. So I will protect my First Amendment right and will proceed as I see fit, not only as a board member, but as a citizen.
Mr. Stovall, just for clarification, this information came from Oklahoma State School Board Association.
Well, the 2 attorney law firms I visited with were Laura's and RFR.
Well, I think you can pass any kind of resolution you want, but I mean, it's not binding. It's simply a statement of opinion, and you certainly have the right to do that. I have the right to present the facts to the public as I see fit.
I would encourage folks to read the Code of Ethics and Conduct that we adopted as a 5-0 vote on January 29th. I don't think that anybody should have their personal opinion taken away. But if it's at the expense of others or done to belittle, undermine, and not be in the best interest of the district, I do not support it. That's why I'm voting on the Code of Ethics. I move the vote.
We have a recommendation and a second. Please call the roll.
I'm sorry. I didn't get Mrs. Wilkins, did you move?
Yes.
Or you moved? All right. I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention. I apologize.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Stovall?
No.
Mrs. Updike?
No.
Mrs. Wilkins?
Yes.
Mrs. Wesley?
Yes.